Shit. This is what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Let me tell you what I'm feeling like.
Yo, what up though, people? Like to welcome you back to the Keep the C-No podcast. As always, I am your boy Brown. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. If this your first time tuning in, salute to you. Please do me a favor, hit the sub button. Everybody that's tuned in, please make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop new content. Don't be afraid to leave a comment if you agree. If you disagree, you want to add on or correct me on something, or if you just want to call me an Uber, let me know in the comments. Just make sure you keep it a C-Note. And please hit the share button. Share this with somebody that likes to talk sports and entertainment like you, so that we can all talk that talk together. Funniest thing I've seen so far this week, Pittsburgh Steelers are trading for the LA Rams wide receiver Allen Robinson. And I'm a Rams fan. I just find it funny because I've been on the record for years saying Allen Robinson was a dud. Then we signed him last offseason to a 2-year deal, and it killed my vibe. And then he came out and had a dud season. I mean, the guy can't get open. He can't get separation. The Rams didn't owe him no money. They could have cut him, but to get anything for him is a shout out to the Rams. I don't know what Pittsburgh has in mind, but I'm just happy they're willing to give something up. I'm keeping it a C-Note. Shout out Jalen Hurts. He just cashed out. He is now the highest paid player in the NFL. New 5-year deal, $255 million, $179.3 guaranteed. Yikes, that boy is getting money. Shout out Jalen Hurts. Eagles fans, keep it a C-Note. 255, 5 years. How you feeling about the Jalen Hurts contract? Keep the C-Note, let me know. Y'all know that I'm always on record saying I would not give a quarterback 50+ million. Now, don't get me wrong. I would give Jalen Hurts more money than Lamar Jackson, but I still wouldn't give Jalen Hurts 50 a year. What we all got to realize is it was 1 year. 1 year. It's the same thing we're going through with Lamar. Everybody's talking about he's an MVP. That was 1 year. Look at the top 10 highest paid players in the league. Kyler Murray got paid for playing good 1 year. Daniel Jones just got $40 million a year for playing one good season. We only got 2 quarterbacks on the top 10 list that have recently won a Super Bowl. That's Mahomes, Matthew Stafford. The rest of these guys ain't worth that money. I'm just keeping it a C-Note. Next up, we got Burrow, Justin Herbert. They're the next to cash out. I want to ask y'all a couple of questions, though. First off, there's talks that Lamar Jackson will try to up his value and just play on a franchise tag, then try to cash out with Burrow and Herbert. Do y'all agree with that strategy? Again, here's my thing. If we're paying people off 1 year, I say Lamar Jackson, get out of Baltimore, get traded to a team that's willing to give you something that's good money, and get out the way. Sitting out a season or playing on a franchise tag is too much of a risk. Don't roll the dice and risk it all. And 10, 15 years from now, people are talking about you, how you didn't cash out, how you got hurt, or how something happened. Because it don't even have to be an injury. He can go out there this season and dud it down, and that's going to devalue him even more. Request to trade Lamar, gracefully bow out, Take a check somewhere in between 40 to 47 mil and call it a day, would you? But let me ask something to the Eagles fans. Now that Jalen Hurts is signed, when you look at it 7 years from now, what validates this as a good signing? Winning a Super Bowl? Getting back to another Super Bowl? Just being a playoff team? I mean, what validates when you look at it 7 years from now, you say, yeah, Jalen Hurts was worth 50 mil because he did what? What's your expectations now that he's got this contract? Keep it a C note, let me know. There's a lot of talk. Teams are looking to trade for Trey Lance from the Niners, and they're willing to listen to these trades, I guess, what people are starting to call, because the Niners have said Brock Purdy is their guy. What's your thoughts on it? Should a team trade for Trey Lance? Is Trey Lance a starter in NFL? Yes, no. I would trade for him if I didn't have anything. I mean, he still has potential. I wouldn't give up too much for him. He has potential. He's on a rookie contract. Good money. But San Fran is the perfect scenario. What I'm saying is, if you look at their top 10 highest paid players in the league, you got guys like Josh Allen that's making over 40 mil. Never been to a Super Bowl, right? And we're paying quarterbacks 40 plus mil to what? Get to a divisional round game in the playoffs? Maybe a championship game? For all that, all you got to do is look at San Fran. They don't pay that much money on a quarterback. And they still, every year, second round, third round. So they are the perfect example that you don't have to overpay these quarterbacks to be competitive. I mean, if you're still getting to the same destination, what's the difference other than you saving money? I'm just keeping it a C note. But should a team trade for Trey Lance? Is Trey Lance still a starter in the NFL? Keep it a C note. NBA playoffs, Draymond Green suspended a game before for game 3. Keep it a C note. How y'all feel about that? Should Draymond Green have been suspended? Yes, no. Keep it a C note. Let me know. I don't think he should have been suspended. I'm just keeping it a C note. You know, you got to let these guys get a little physical sometimes. Pause. That's just my thoughts on it. If Golden State loses the series, will everybody blame it on Draymond missing that game? Yes, no, keep it a C note. I would say no, because to me it just looks like Sacramento is the little brother, Golden State is the big brother. But like the little brother is starting to get nice. The older brother is starting to get a little older. You look at a guy like Malik Monk. He's blowing by their wings like it ain't nothing. That's Clay, that's Steph, that's all these guys. They can't guard him. And big brother versus little brother. Vito always used to say it. Golden State wasn't playing good defense. They were outscoring people. Sacramento can outscore you. That's just my thoughts on it. I'm keeping it a C note. But I see JJ Redick has recently said that the referees have been dictating the game, basically helping Sacramento out, not calling a lot of calls. How y'all feel about it? My thing is this, JJ Redick, you can't say how these guys would be so great in the 90s, but then you're saying it's physical. Golden State isn't a physical team. Draymond Green is physical, pause. But they've never been a physical team. In the playoffs, the refs are supposed to swallow their whistle, let them play. Like, we can't keep crying about oh, they pushing them around, they not letting Steph move. Like, come on, man. Them guys got to get open. They got to get physical back. just keeping it a C note. What's your thoughts on it though, people? Draymond Green suspended for game 3. Should he have been suspended? Yes, no, keep it a C note. And if Golden State loses this series, do we use the Draymond Green being suspended one game as an excuse? Yes, no, keep it a C note. Have the referees dictated the series so far? Let me know. Phoenix and the Clippers going at it. We're seeing Kawhi versus KD. I just want to ask y'all to keep it a C note. Right now, who's the better player? Is it Kawhi Leonard or is it Kevin Durant? Keep it a C note. Let me know. I got to go Kawhi. I got to go Kawhi because he does a little bit more. I think the series would be more interesting if Paul George was there. But, I got to go Kawhi because Kawhi, he getting busy doing it all. He passing the ball, rebounding, sticking Kevin, getting buckets. Don't get me wrong, KD getting buckets too, but I'm going with Kawhi right now. Especially watching the playoffs, who's the better player? Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard. Keep it a C note, let me know. Shout out to Nas. April 19th, 1994, Illmatic was released, his debut album. Some people say it's the greatest hip-hop album of all time. Some people say it's top 5, top 10. But shout out to Nas, the album turns 29 years old. Keep it a C note. Where do you rank Nas, Illmatic, the debut album, in your top albums list of all time? Keep it a C note, let me know. Everybody know that I'm a Nas fan. Illmatic, greatest hip-hop album of all time. I mean, they're using it in schools. Not only that, Illmatic was so influential. You would think that it had 5, 6 radio smashes and all that, and it didn't. It was just a great album that a lot of people missed. But it set the bar in hip-hop. Look how controversial it was. You got Raekwon saying that Biggie and Bad Boy bit Nas' Illmatic album cover. Right? Illmatic got 5 mics in the source. Most of these rappers from my era, and the fans that grew up in my era, know that the rappers the whole 90s after Illmatic were all chasing a 5 mic album. Jay-Z, who some people consider the GOAT, Reasonable Doubt was an extension of Illmatic. Everybody knows that. Everybody says that. I just think Illmatic had so much of an impact on hip-hop. It changed the game. To me, it's the greatest hip-hop album ever. But what's your thoughts on it again? Shout out to Nas. Illmatic turned 29 years old on April 19th. It was released in 94. Where is Illmatic ranked on your all-time album list? Keep it a C note, let me know. Speaking of Nas, I've seen a lot of lists lately. Greatest hip-hop artist of all time, greatest rapper of all time. Nas keep making top 5, top 3. Listen, I'm a diehard Nas fan. I'll say he's the greatest rapper ever. And I won't let people tell me other stuff. The only person that I would make an argument for is Tupac. I would say anybody else, no, they're not in Nas' league or none of that. But here's the thing. When we look at Tupac, some people say that his status was blown up 10 times because he died. And that's why he's so iconic today. And I don't agree with that. I believe the music is timeless. I believe he knows how to make a better song for the masses than Nas. I'll agree on that. But I got Nas on everything else. Biggie, I just had the debate about Biggie. And my thing is with Biggie, super talented and all of that. But when you look at Bad Boys, was Biggie just a part of the Bad Boy creation? Because we know Puff started mixing the R&B and hip hop. But when you really look at it, right? Flavor in Your Ear was the biggest hit from Bad Boy to start. Big Papa was a nice hit, but it wasn't a chart seller like Flavor in Your Ear. Warning was the B-side track. And Biggie kind of blew up when they did the remix of One More Chance. That's my thought. So I was saying, respectfully, because I'm not taking nothing away from Biggie, to me, he's still top 5. But I was saying maybe it was the Bad Boy formula a little more than everything else. Because Mace dominated in that era. Black Rob had hits in that. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people made out off that Bad Boy formula, and that might have played the impact in making Biggie more successful to me. But you might can call me an Uber. And then it's Jay-Z. Jay-Z has always followed Nas's blueprint from Reasonable Doubt sounding like Illmatic to, 444 now he's kicking Knowledge. I'm just saying, I got Nas as the GOAT. And I seen a video and it said it was Ritten's album. Nas' single, The Message, may have solidified him as the king of hip hop. And I looked at it and I said, all the big dogs at that time recognized everybody was beefing. You got Biggie, Pac, they're beefing with each other, East versus West. Nas drops this song and everybody immediately drops their beef and focuses on him and they hate on him. Look at it. That song sparked a beef with Biggie, Tupac, Jay-Z, and everybody's top 5 arguably, right? Just keeping it a C note. I've also seen some lists where we're talking best storytellers, and I seen a list that had Ghostface number 1. And listen, I got love for Ghostface. I rock with Ghostface, but Ghostface ain't a top 5 storyteller all the time. We gotta knock it off, would you? Would you? Nas is definitely the greatest storyteller of all times. Whether he's giving you One Love, which is a song that's underrated, but it painted a picture. He's giving you Rewind. He's giving you stories in songs like One Mic. So, I'm just saying, I see a lot of these lists, but I got Nas as the GOAT, and the main reason is he's been on fire for 4 generations. He's the only artist that I can think of that has a classic album in 4 different generations. The 90s, you got Illmatic. I know some people that say It Was Written is better than Illmatic, but that's a classic album. The 2000s, you got Stillmatic, but some people will say The Lost Tapes is better. 2010, you got Life is Good. In the 2020s, you got the King's Disease trilogy. That's 4 generations of having classic albums. I know if we want to compare J.S. Reasonable Doubt in the 90s, Blueprint in the 2000s, but where do you go in the 10s? Please don't say 444. Knock it off, would you? Watch the Throne maybe, but that's a compilation album. And he has nothing in the 20s. I mean, let's look at Drake and them. Drake has hits in the 10s and the 20s. But I don't think he has a classic album. We're talking classic albums. This guy has a classic album every 10 years. Come on, man, that's GOAT status. Knock it off, would you? But listen, let me know how you feeling about it. Where does Nas rank in your all-time list? I got him as the greatest of all time. Do you agree, or should you call me an Uber? I'm going to wrap this episode up. But shout out again to everybody tuned in. Again, if this is your first time tuning in, please hit the sub button. Everybody that's tuned in, hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell so you can get notified when we drop new content. Don't be afraid to leave a comment if you agreed with anything, disagreed with anything, you want to correct me on something, or if you just want to call me an Uber, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to share the video with somebody that likes to talk sports and entertainment so that we can all talk that talk together. As always, I am your boy Brown. Please tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to tell everybody. Keep the C note. I holla at y'all.
Shit. This is what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Let me tell you what I'm feeling like. Da, da, da.